Good morning. This is Chris Robinson, Robinson Ag Marketing. Today's pre-opening grain and livestock comments for today, Wednesday the 5th, middle of the week. Overnight, we had a jump in the beans. Why? Well, China lowered its soybean tariff to 13%. There's still a 3% tariff from Brazil. Um, it took some people, I guess, some time to figure that out. We spiked earlier on it. We ended up, we were up another dime from where we settled. 11.24 and three quarters. Jam beans settled up 3 cents. So, when you do the math, it's a little cheaper to get stuff from Brazil. So it just seems like overnight the shooting gallery. That's what I call it. I mean, it's just the Europeans and the Asian traders can just whip this thing around. And since they've started night trading, I'd say 95% of you better off staying away from it and using options if you've got risk because it's just a joke, in my opinion. And I wish it wasn't, but 16-cent range overnight, just whipping around. The only people who made any money last night are the algos. If you want to be an algo trader, you're not listening to me. Okay, looking at corn as well, basically unchanged, a 4 cent range. I would watch this today and see, the big picture, kids. Keep your eye on the big picture, not on the last 10 cents. We just rallied over $1 in beans. Wheat rallied about 50 cents. We're already starting to give that back, even after the fact that China bought a couple cargoes of wheat. Big deal. Um, so just take advantage of it. I don't think that these are going to be long lived. There's still no weather issue in South America. That's people keep forgetting about that. Some people are trying to say it's a little too dry, Mato Grasso. We need 2 more, 3 more, 4 more weeks of a little bit of dry before we really get some sort of story there. And boy, I would love it. I trust me, I would love it. I'd love to see Al Gore standing down in the field in Brazil, with his, in his whatever he'd be wearing. Would he be wearing a jogging suit or a suit? I don't know. But standing there with a Brazilian translator talking about the end of the world. I hope we get something like that because American farmer, especially the corn and wheat farmers, would need something like that here to turn these prices around. Remember, we just came off 5 year lows. So if you're getting jazzed about a 50-cent bounce in wheat because China bought cargoes of wheat, I would just say try and look at that 30,000 view feet, 30,000 view, right? There's still a lot of risk. If we take out the 5 year lows, there's another 50 cents to another dollar risk in wheat. And if we don't continue buying here, that's the risk. So I'm not saying you spend a ton to defend the downside, but I would defend the downside and keep the upside open. Vice versa, if you, for some reason, in the past month or two or whatever, felt like you had to sell it because you needed the money, you had to sell wheat, you had to sell corn. I have no problem with you going out and buying May, June, July calls because I don't know what's going to happen this summer. No one knows what's going to happen this summer. That's why we would re-own them when they're cheap. So you set the hedge. It's like that TV show where they go out and um, when they fish for the crabs, the deadliest catch, right? They set their pots. You got to set your pot. So if you're a producer or even a speculator, you have to set the hedge. You've got to set it. You got to get it on paper. If you wait, right now we had $1.10 rally in beans. If you're buying bean calls now for stuff that you sold a dollar and a half ago, that's not hedging. You're chasing. So when you make the sale, that's what I always suggest. If you sold into this $1.10 rally, hold back 10 or 15 or 20 cents and stay long. Stay long. Because then you get into the trap of, oh well, I'm gonna wait for the pullback. What if there's no pullback? So if you own the wheat and you don't have a floor on it, or the wheat, the corn, the beans, get a floor under it. You've just had a little bounce. Defend it. Don't cap it out. If you're selling into it, if you're making the decision to currently sell into this rally, then absolutely re-own it. Who are we to say that we can't go higher? Who are we to say that we can't get a weather issue? That's why we hedge. And today we're going to see what happens. The border, they were talking about possibly opening the border yesterday. That's when we broke hard. Then around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock last night, they said, no, 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 the border's staying closed. I would say, we're trying to hedge against a binary decision. So I would maintain my hedge. If you own cattle, and them opening the border would hurt you, i.e., bring in more supply and drive down price, then I would maintain a hedge. That's it. All right, we'll see. Can March feeders ever get back up into the gaps there? We were trying to run into the gaps. Looked like yesterday there's a big gap up there, about a $7 gap on the charts. I know the robot traders would love to go get that. That's what I'll be watching today. Okay, if you're looking for help, give me a call 312-638-8868. I don't charge a reversal fee. I don't charge an acres fee. You only charge me. I only charge you if you actually trade with me. If you like my letter, sign up for that. RobinsonAgMarketing.com. Have a great day.